Flight 229, you're clear for takeoff.
Hey folks, Maverick Watch Reviews back here with another review for you. Today we have the Stuhrling Original Regatta Professional 200 meter quartz diver, model number HN593.33. And as usual, we'll open it up, look at the fit and finish, the features and the functions, the build quality, and then I'll give you my overall impressions of this budget diver from Stuhrling Original. But first, I'd like to invite you to become a patron of mine on Patreon. This will allow me to buy a faster laptop and better editing software, and I hope to give you a new watch review at least a couple times a week. At least that's my goal. Make sure you check out my Patreon page when you get a chance. My only commitment level is $3 a month, but you can always give more or less. 1, 3, 5, 10, whatever you can spare a month would be really, really appreciated. So here you go. Typical Stuhrling Original box. I've seen these boxes before, kind of like that blaze orange color. It almost feels like it's wood, but it's probably a really hard pressed cardboard. Decent box though. So of course you get the Stuhrling Original microfiber cleaning cloth right there. You get some stuff up here, and you also get a lot of manuals and brochures and advertisements with watches like this. So here you go. Here's your manual, which you really don't need. These watches are super simple to operate. You get this. What is this here? Respect for the art and tradition of Swiss watchmaking legend. Yeah, okay. So let's open this thing up. A message of sincerity for our valued collectors and friends. Watches like this, they always include a lot of paperwork, brochures, ads, and it's kind of basically just bullshit. I mean, these watches don't have a storied history. I mean, they're made in China. I mean, what do you expect? So, but they put this type of stuff to fool some people. They don't fool a lot of people watching these reviews, that's for sure. Anyway, this is all bullshit. All right, what is this right here? I'm guessing this is probably the warranty. Yep, 2-year international warranty. There you go. More bullshit. All right, so we've gone through that. Let's take the watch out. It comes on this black watch pillow. Again, pretty decent box though. Y'all know I have a little fetish for boxes. Anyway, there you go. Decent little watch box. All right, let's go ahead and get the basic specs first. Let's bring out the micrometer. Let's talk about the case. I'm not doing case size with the crown anymore, just because I want to be more exact. So you're looking at 42.5 millimeters for the case. Let's talk about thickness. Thickness is 14. Let's do lug to lug. All right. Let's do lug to lug here. Lug to lug, let's say go ahead and say 50. Let's talk about the stainless steel bracelet, and this doesn't taper. So 22 millimeters for the stainless steel bracelet. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and put all the other specs on the left-hand side of the screen for you. You're looking at 200 meters water resistant. It does have a screw down crown over there at 3 o'clock. It has a date function at 4:30 in that little circular window right there. It has a Cristerna crystal, which is proprietary to Stuhrling. It's probably a mixture of some sort of glass and plastic. Nowhere near sapphire's hardness, so get that kind of out of your head. It does have a pretty tight unidirectional, 120 click unidirectional bezel, which I was kind of surprised. The bezel is kind of small and it's very thin, so it's a little bit hard to grip. It does have a Swiss Ronda 515 movement in it with about a 3-year battery life. And being a quartz watch, obviously it is hackable, but not windable. So there are your basic specs. I mean, I like the look of the watch. I like the blue. I like the blue dials. Kind of got that sunburst. It kind of has a sunburst look to it, but it's not really sunburst. It's just a little bit lighter. It kind of radiates out a little bit, but it's not an actual sunburst dial. Kind of an interesting dial. And of course, you have the darker bezel with that kind of darker navy blue. So it's not a bad looking watch. Obviously, it's very legible. You have these huge indexes. And those indexes look like they're not really applied, but they're just multiple layers of lume placed at each index, but they're not actually applied. There's no bezel around them or anything like that. I do like the skeletonized hands, and I'll show you those here. Let me go with these, show you what these look like. I like the skeletonized hands a lot, actually. If I can pop this thing out. There we go. So I like those skeletonized hands, pretty cool. Of course, you have that red second hand. Minimal writing. You do have professional diver in 200 meters right above 6 o'clock. I mean, really legible. I mean, it's a good looking watch for sure. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and screw this crown in. Crown has a nice screw in action. Really easy to screw in, really easy to screw out, which I do appreciate. What else? The case is very polished. I don't think there's any brushed areas on this watch. Really, actually, I take that back. Probably just the lugs. The lugs and the outer portions of the links are brushed. Everything else is polished. So, has some decent crown guards over there for the crown. This is a little blue sticker that comes on the crown. You would need to take that off. So, I mean, it's, you know, for what you're paying for this watch, and I'll tell you about that later, it's not bad. It feels pretty decent. I'm really pleasantly surprised about how this watch feels and how it looks. I thought it'd be a total piece of shit, but it doesn't look like it's that bad. So anyway, let's take a look at the case back. Case back is just your normal laser etched Stuhrling case back. Now, I've never actually reviewed a Stuhrling watch before, but I've seen tons of them. I've seen these case backs before. Not too bad. Of course, you have information on the perimeter there. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm really kind of, you know, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised with this watch. Now, the reason why I'm reviewing this is actually the #1 selling watch on Amazon right now, thanks to Prime Day last week. You can get this now for $69, but I got it for $47 on Prime Day. And the funny thing about this, and Invicta does this as well, the MSRP in this watch is $595. Yeah, okay. Yes, you know, if you would pay that, if you'd pay MSRP on this watch, you kind of deserve to have your money taken from you, because obviously if they're selling this watch at $47, even on Prime Day, Stuhrling is still making money on these things. I'm guessing this watch maybe cost them 20 or 30 bucks tops to make, and they're still making money. So be very wary whenever you see watches in this kind of range, in this class, where they have those massive MSRPs, and they end up selling for 1/10 of the MSRP, which stands for manufacturer's suggested retail price. Just be very wary of any company that does that. And that's why, another reason why I wanted to review this, because, you know, I wanted to see if this watch was decent, and it looks like it might be pretty decent. I don't know how waterproof it's going to end up being. You know, it says 200 meters. I wouldn't, if it was half of that, I'd be really impressed. For a $47 watch, I would be really impressed. So, you know, who knows? It's kind of a gamble, but it's so cheap, even if it turns out to be a dud, you're not out that much money. Yeah, $47 is still, you know, a decent amount of money, but, you know, it's not like you're taking a huge risk. So let's go ahead and try this thing on. All right. And I tried it on early, and in fact, it actually fits pretty decent. All right. Feels good. Has some good wrist presence to it. It's not too tall. It's still pretty thin. I mean, it feels pretty comfortable. There's no kinks in the links so far as like grabbing my hairs or anything like that, which I like. Some of these links, the tolerances are so minimal that they'll actually pull your hairs. This is not that bad. It's actually pretty comfortable. So let's go ahead and test out the Lume. And I tested the Lume out before, and I was really disappointed. But let's go ahead and kill the studio light. Let's test this Lume real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and zap it. It's pretty dark in here right now. Now, obviously, the Lume's gonna show up a little bit better in a darker room. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. I don't know what Lume they're using on this. So there's your Lume. Now, it'll fade in about 10 seconds. It'll just fade away. And that's kind of what I expected. I mean, you're only paying $40, well, you're gonna be paying $69 for it now. And the camera actually picks up a lot of low light. So this Lume, as I'm looking at it, it's almost totally faded. But because the camera is really good at picking up low light, it looks like it's still lighting up, but it's not. To the naked eye, the Lume is gone, absolutely gone. So let me show you that again real quick. Let's go ahead and zap it again. There you go. I mean, it's not bad, but it just doesn't last very long. And I'm sure, again, in a darker environment, it'll last a little bit longer. But not really impressed with the Lume. I didn't think I would be. So anyway, there you go. All right, guys, let me go ahead and turn the studio light back on. Now, like I said, you can get these for $69 over at Amazon. They come in a couple different colors. I think it's like a blue and a black and a red and a green or something like that. And I'll make sure I put a link in the description field for you. If you can go ahead and kind of roll the dice and pick one of these up. Again, it's the #1 selling watch on Amazon right now, and that was because of Prime Day. I think it was last Thursday. So, you know, if you want to roll the dice, go ahead, pick one up. It's not turning out to be the big piece of shit that I thought it was. Now, it might end up being a big piece of shit down the road. I might take it to the pool and there might, you know, it might get water in it immediately, or it might last for years. Who knows? So this is kind of one of those time will tell type of watches to see if it was money well spent. So anyway, so if you want to get one, go over check it out on Amazon. Again, $69, and they come in multiple different colors. And if you like this video, please click on like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. I've got some cool stuff coming up next week, as a matter of fact, so make sure you stay tuned. And until the next review, I will see y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.